Hello, everybody. I'm very glad to be together with you today. My name is Olesya Khudyakova, and I'm an English teacher, and I work at school. Mostly, I work in elementary school with children from 7 to 11 years old. And today, we're all familiar with distance learning. Of course, due to restrictive measures, schools were transferred to a distance education system. And for many, it was a shock, really, equally for children, for parents, and of course for teachers. And I think that mostly for parents. I will not hide, for me, it was also difficult. And today I'm going to speak about my own experience, my thoughts. I will share my findings, ideas, and failures. Okay, so my topic is what are the pros and cons of distance learning? And let's go. All right, first things first. So distance learning, often called distance education, it's the process where students utilize the internet to attend classes and complete different courses without having to physically attend at school, of course. And distance learning is increasing in popularity as technology advances and more opportunities arise for students to participate in quality distance education. Anyway, there are many pros and cons to this kind of learning, of course. And as it gains popularity, it's important to research, understand, and learn if this kind of learning could be a good fit for students and for teachers. And now you can see the next slide. And there are some reasons why students and teachers may want to pursue distance education and opposite to traditional schooling. For example, time saving. Of course, you can agree. For this reason is very important for both children and adults because we save much of time. Next is universality, because the main thing in modern education is the result, and mastering the material can occur at different times, different places. So the most important thing is the result. Next is self-education. Of course, no pressure on students. Students are very, very calm. They are, because there are people who are easier to learn when no one is following their process. Why not? Next reason is minimum absenteeism. Distance learning helps even during a long illness or inability to attend school and keep up with other students, and it's really great. It's amazing. Next reason is comfortable atmosphere. You can't agree that children often don't find a common language with classmates, and conflicts arise among children very often, especially among young children. I mean about 7, 8 years old. So comfortable atmosphere is a very important reason to use distance learning. Why not? And finally, availability of education materials. Students and teachers can read any textbooks, any materials electronically. They can find this in the internet, or teachers can send them this material. That's great, of course. But some students and teachers may find that they will have problems with distance learning or issues with online education. It may not be the best for everyone, of course. And here, in the next slide, you can see some cons. Distance learning requires special organization and discipline. Yes, especially for younger students, and I can tell you that it is very important to have a good discipline during the lesson. Parents will have to look after your younger students. Next reason is irregular working hours for teachers. My friends, it's really terrible because my students, they write, they call me and send tasks even at night and during weekends. So I work every day, 24 hours a day and 7 days a week. Next reason is some students are not prone to self-education. Such children will have fun all the time, yes, every minute, but not learn. Next reason is full action freedom for children. Children can join the lesson, they can join the conference and do their own things. They can jump, they can play, they can sing. Some may even watch obscene videos during the class. So it's a really important problem and reason. Next, lack of confidence in students' independent work. Being on the other side of the monitor, we unfortunately we can't see and we don't know whether the student is doing the work himself or he is being helped by his brothers, sisters, teachers, parents. Next reason is technical difficulties. Unfortunately, distance learning often accompanied by problems with the internet connection, with the equipment, and some children have no gadgets at all, so they haven't got the opportunity to enter the classroom. And finally, last but not the least, health risks. I think that this is one of the most serious problems because students and teachers spend all day in front of the computer, and it follows that students have problems with their eyes, with their posture, and much more. Especially I sit next to the computer all the day, and I take different postures like this one, like that one. So it is really very dangerous. In fact, these two lists, they of course can be continued, but this is the main thing that I experienced myself. So, okay, online lessons, online education. At first I thought, wow, that's great. I don't need to wake up at 6 a.m. Oh, cool. I don't need to go to school. I don't need to go from one school to another because I work in two different buildings. And of course, giving lessons online is much, much easier. But no, no, and no. It's much, much harder. I want to say that in general, in our school, the distance learning process is organized quite well. And now I'm going to tell you how we did it. So we decided to conduct classes strictly according to the school schedule. Yes, here you can see my own schedule, the time, my classes, the lessons, the same like at school, just from home. And we decided to organize two forms of classes, distance lessons and electronic lessons. Here you can see the letter E, yes, electronic lessons, and D, distance lessons. What does it mean? Now I'm going to explain. Distance lessons mean going online, for example, in Zoom. Yes, so going online to see your students, to speak with your students, to connect with them. And of course, you know this platform, Zoom, a special platform to go online. And to tell you the truth, I really liked Zoom. From my point of view, it is one of the most convenient and adapted for online learning platform. I'll say right away that I'm not doing advertising or anti-advertising for this or that platform. This is my personal experience and my impressions, so I just want to share with you. So next, electronic lessons, yes, means working in our school register, electronic school register, to attach electronic lessons for students. And here you can see the example of these electronic lessons, where they can read texts, they can read the information, watch videos, listen to audio tracks, and even do tests. Cool, great, amazing. It's really a very good thing, but due to system overload, neither teachers nor children could enter the electronic school register. Bam, bam, bam. What should we do? Okay. In such cases, I gave my students tasks from our students' books, and as a result, I had over 100 messages in my WhatsApp every day. Worse, I just couldn't read what the students had written. Look at this picture, please. Can you read anything from this list? Unfortunately, it is very, it's impossible. Yes, it's difficult to read this material. After that, I decided to use Google Forms. And it was a good solution for me and my students. Well, in such circumstances, I prepared tasks in the form of a test or an answer and gave the children a link. The results came to me automatically. So you can see my tests here. This is the example of the test, and children just choose the answer, and I've got the results. Okay, but this format has minuses, of course, because constant work with the computer monitor, and I have already said that I mostly work in primary school. I think you can imagine and you can understand how difficult it is to sit in front of the computer for small children. They want to play, they want to run, they want to draw something, they want to do something, to speak. So it's really difficult for them. Oh yes, and also I made some video lessons, and my students and their parents, they really liked these video lessons. They were interesting for them because during these lessons I explained the material. I draw something here, yes, in the list. So they really liked these videos. Despite all the new technologies, children need a pencil and some paper, of course. I understand it very well after this experience. To do interactive tasks using a computer is very interesting, really exciting and informative. But please don't forget about muscle memory. Children remember better when they write. Children remember better when they draw something, when they paint, when they do something with their own hands. And children remember better when they are involved in the process physically and emotionally. And that's why I always use different games and tasks during the lesson which involve students into the process. From this slide, you can see that during my lessons, we play different games. We play board games. We draw, yes. We dance with children. We sing songs. We act stories and work with worksheets. We even cook. And of course, we learn all the names of fruits, of the food during the lesson, and children like it. They like to be together, to speak, to communicate, to share their ideas, to be together, yes, because it is very important. So, I came to the solution that blended learning goes beyond the mere reorganization of time spent in school, and blended learning, this is the way out. With technology, the teacher transforms into a designer of learning experiences capable of catering to the student who is able to learn better through videos or working in groups. Digital technology, therefore, is not the aim, yes, but the means for the student to be able to learn better and with a better quality. And even during this time, I worked with my children. I tried to use different actions, different cards. Yes, I showed them these cards, ask them to answer. I ask them to draw, to paint, to work with the paper, and it was a good experience. This month of distance learning gave me an incredible experience, really. And to tell you the truth, I have never given online lessons before. It was my first experience, and I liked this experience. I see that today we have a huge amount of opportunities, resources, online materials, but we should use this very, very carefully and proportionately. I think that teachers should transform some moments of their practice, their routine, into moments in which technology can be integrated, in a way that makes sense both for teachers and, of course, for their students. It's a good thing to integrate online education to the regular school system, but always maintaining face-to-face classes with activities and printed materials. And even through technology may be a powerful ally. The younger the children, the more time they need to spend in school to communicate with teachers, to communicate with their classmates, and it is extremely necessary to make a connection between a teacher and a student, to have a contact, face-to-face contact, yes, and face-to-face activities. And it's really a very important thing to understand that children, they need their teacher and teacher needs their children. I have a question. Now I would like to ask you something. Please help me to understand better. What do you think about this topic? Okay, I'll give you the link in our chat. Okay, 1 second. So here, there we go. Please go through this link and you will see the question. And the question is about distance learning, your choice. Do you approve distance learning? Yes, that's a good idea. No, distance learning doesn't make us happy. Should be combined. Or maybe you've got your own question, okay? And I've got several minutes. I think I've got 3 minutes, so I'm ready to answer your question. Thank you so much. I was really very happy to speak with you, to share my experience. Maybe you would like to ask me something. So I'm here and waiting for your answers for my survey. Okay, thank you. Yes, thank you. Have we got? Okay, so thank you so much. Good luck. Have a nice day. And see you next time. Maybe. I hope so. Bye-bye.